Hello, and welcome to Fireside ChatGPTz.
Here is your host, Leif Erikson.
Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of Fireside ChatGPTz. I'm your host, Leif Erikson, and I'm happy you're here today. We've decided to try something a little different here at Fireside ChatGPTz. We're going to be interviewing some people from around the system about AI. For our first guest, I thought we would have on the person who sparked the whole Fireside ChatGPTz idea, the fiery Matt Varney of the KCTCS System Office.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me, Lee.
Hello. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Tell me again who you are. Introduce yourself. Tell me what you do.
Sure. So I'm Matt Varney. I work at the System Office in Technology Solutions. I've been there forever, since the last millennia. But I've been getting a lot into the world of AI recently, and been really fascinated by what's going on, and trying to pull all that information together to share with people so that everyone can learn.
So what fascinates you the most about AI, would you say?
Well, from my perspective, I'm more on the staff side, so I'm not in the classroom. So I'm looking at things that are helping me and my fellow staff people do work more productively, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
And that's actually got me to thinking that AI might need to be retermed a little, because right now AI is artificial intelligence,
right.
But really what it's doing is it's providing augmented industrialness. Industrialness, is that a word?
Sure.
Augment.
Why not?
It helps. It amplifies what you're doing, right? It augments and amplifies what you're doing, or it can if you use it well. And so that's where I'm looking in the world of AI right now, is how that's can be applied at the knowledge worker level.
So say that term again.
Augmented industriousness.
I like it. So let's break that down. Augmented, like it's enhanced, and obviously that's what that means. And so it's basically enhancing. It's a way to enhance your industriousness, basically.
Yes. And maybe it's amplified industriousness, because that might be more appropriate.
How is KCTCS approaching AI in general?
It's a great question. We're very serious about it. So in our typical fashion, we've stood committees and are examining the problem. I'm not personally on any of the committees, but I've seen some of their activity, and I know they're working hard and diligent to help put out some guidelines, put out some information to simultaneously raise awareness of the capabilities, to alleviate some fears that people might have, and to just get a better general sense of what AI is capable of, what it's not capable of, and where you should use it, where you should not. Particularly in the classroom, that's where the most of the focus has been, from a system level, is getting information out to the instructors about AI and making sure that they can proceed with their normal teaching and learning activities.
And one of the things that occurs to me about AI is how quickly it changes. I mean, it's just so fast. And so I assume that's a challenge. I know it is for our college. I assume that's a challenge at the system level too, to see how do we handle understanding and using a technology responsibly when it changes on basically a daily basis.
Yes. We've always had that problem with technology in general, particularly at the system level, trying to get just technology up to baseline levels around the system, and the understanding of the implications of that. But AI has taken that, put that on steroids. I mean, it just moves so fast, day to day, hour to hour sometimes. And what is good today, or a good practice today, maybe we're finding out through lessons learned that that's not the best practice. So we have to rethink that.
So tell me a little bit about the KCTCS AI Hub. I know I only found out about this recently, and I think there may be a lot of people who aren't aware of what it is and why it exists.
Sure. So the AI Hub is a place on the KCTCS internet. It's a SharePoint site where we are collecting those guidelines and those recommendations and information about AI use in general. And as more and more of those come out, we'll be posting those there. But we're also trying to keep our finger on the pulse of the AI news that's out there. And if a news story comes along with a new development, a new technology provider is offering a new tool, particularly if it applies to our business of higher education, I try to capture that and feature it on that website. So I put out about 2 or 3 stories a week. I could put out hundreds if I had the time, but it's trying to keep on top of that, keep the conversation or the awareness raised as high as possible, while as system level guidelines and college level guidelines are coming out about AI.
And what do you find most challenging and most rewarding about curating the KCTCS AI Hub?
Challenging is the volume and speed it's coming at me and bouncing off my face. But rewarding is I'm seeing more and more people discover it, sharing that, and getting more of a wider audience. So the conversation is growing around it. Obviously, the interest is there, so that's been rewarding to see. So the conversation is growing, and I want to encourage that. And we're looking at other ways to do that, where those conversations can flow more naturally and more freely in sort of a community.
And what are your top things you look for when you're looking for content for the AI Hub?
Several things. One, I try to vary the sources a little bit, so I'm not relying on one source. So I've got 3 or 4 different news aggregators that I look at to see what's most popular. Mm-hmm. If the story has an education slant or an education implications to it, I typically gravitate to that, dive into that. I'll typically do like a 3 or 4 paragraph summary, and then maybe a link to the full article or several articles that I'm doing that caught my attention. And so I've in the past I've featured the way other colleges and universities are handling AI in the classroom and in the administrative side. Major announcements from the major vendors that everyone's familiar with, showcasing some innovative or interesting approaches to how AI is infiltrating in the world. One of the recent posts that got a lot of attention back in early January was about the social network just for AI agents.
Right.
I don't know if you caught that article, but it was AI agents that could interact with it Reddit style, post stories about what they're doing. Other AI agents would review that. Humans would just sit back and watch. And that was kind of an interesting thing, but it sort of blew up about a week after it launched because of some security issues. But it was kind of like, wow, we are getting to the place where AI is really starting to understand itself.
What's next for AI at KCTCS?
Keep learning. I think the committees and as well as other people are very interested in having those guidelines and those guardrails of what's the appropriate use and what's the appropriate way to approach these things in my specific job, in my specific role in the classroom. How do I talk to students about it? What can I learn from the students? Because they're probably out there, the students out there experimenting at breakneck speeds far beyond a lot of us. So how can we tap into that energy and build something cohesively? I know there's a lot of effort and work now too with the workforce side of things. So companies and businesses and industry out there are obviously very interested in AI and want to train and train and inform their workers and learn how they can use AI in their business. So we're adapting a lot of AI curriculum for that. There's a big move down at Owensboro about this specifically. I think that'll go system-wide once that launches on the workforce side. So that's very exciting. That's a rapid response workforce kind of thing that is always a challenge. And also, I think one of the things that can help us, all of us, particularly here at KCTCS, where we are a big Microsoft shop, like it or not, We are using email and the Office applications and SharePoint and Teams excessively. And so we have a lot of activity, information, and data in those systems. And Microsoft's AI Copilot is a very interesting and quite capable AI for tapping into that and helping us do our work they're already doing a little better. So Copilot, Microsoft in their infinite wisdom has like 37 different flavors of Copilot. And so it's hard to keep track of. And so what I would like to do, and several of us at system level would like to start a specific Copilot champions community. So people who are very interested in applying Copilot specifically to their work can get together, share resources, share successes, and then just build that. And so we're going to be launching that probably in the next month or two. So look out for announcements.
Well, count me in. I'm interested.
Excellent.
So if people want to interact with the KCTCS AI Hub or reach you, or can they reach you? How does that work?
Yeah, so the AI Hub is very easy to spot. It should be the first thing that pops up in search on the intranet. So if you go to SharePoint, any SharePoint site, and search for AI, you should get a link to that. If you're good at remembering URLs, it's like every other SharePoint site out there at KCTCS. It's kctcs.sharepoint.com/sites/AI.
So just to wrap us up here, tell me some way you use AI personally, not necessarily work related, that you find interesting or very helpful.
Yeah, I would have to probably gravitate towards the work aspect, because that's where most of my usage is. And one of the things that's has saved me a lot of time will allow me to take a long email thread with various people, and with one click of a button, find a actual meeting time to discuss. It would set up a meeting. It would look at our respective calendars, find an agreeable time, propose an agenda for the meeting, propose the outcomes we're after, the draft form. You could review that, and with another quick click of the button, send that an invitation. So you have that summary of this extensive conversation, and this action item lists that you can work on in the meeting, and not just be a meeting about nothing.
Right.
So it's been really helpful for me. I've used that probably weekly since it came out a couple of years ago.
So you're augmenting your industriousness, like we were talking about.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on Fireside ChatGPTz. I hope you're not too hot in there. I was going to put another log on the fire for you, but you look like you're probably pretty cozy already.
It's nice and toasty.
So,
appreciate it. Yeah.
Once again, everyone, this has been Matt Varney from the KCTCS System Office. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. See you next time on Fireside ChatGPTz.